Hey, E, put the beat on. Hey, Taylor, you like this joint?
Yeah, this beat hard.
Yeah, you sure you like this joint? You would tell me if you didn't, right?
Oh yeah, of course. No, this gonna go hard.
All right, cool. This my man Scotty Pimpin' joint.
Oh, okay, all right then.
Matter of fact, I got something for this.
Got something like what?
Welcome to the top shelf, where the flavor so hot, but you will not melt. About to take you on a ride like you never felt. Up and down, real smooth like a carousel. Moving in our own lane, no parallel. Everybody needs sleep, it's good for your health. If you stuck like Chuck, I might have to help. Cause we talk sports, life, and everything else.
It's on a podcast.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We thank you for taking the time to tune in to S.L.E.E.P, the Sports, Life, and Everything Else podcast, where sports, life, and everything, and entertainment, collide. Presented by the away team and coming to you from the top shelf. This is season 5, episode 2. My name is Michael Roberts, a.k.a. Mike on the mic, and if it ain't all good, make it that way. We've got my co-host Taylor Suber here.
Yo, Lizzo, what's up?
Taylor, how you feeling?
Doing good. I cannot complain, man. Football is here.
On this rainy Sunday?
I don't give a damn about the rain. Football is here.
Hey, we've got producer.
I didn't even know it was raining until I walked outside. I said, oh, that's how in tune I was into the game.
I hear you. He was locked in.
Yeah, getting shot out in the street. I wouldn't have cared. I said, man, football's on. I don't care what's going on now.
Come on, man. We're trying to stop the violence.
We've got producer extraordinaire, as you just heard, One Will E handling the boards.
What up?
E, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Good. You sound like you're feeling good.
I'm great, man. You know, it's a pretty good week. Very busy. You know, working down to the bottom of the project. So, you know, but everything's good. Had a good one-wheel ride, of course, with the lady out Ridley Creek Park, somewhere out in Media. It's a really nice trail.
Okay.
So, you know, it's just staying away from the drama. That's all. That's the most important part. We staying away from the drama. Good stuff.
You can follow us on Twitter and IG at Sleep is for You. That's S.L.E.E.P. the number 4 YOU. Subscribe and listen to new or old episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Samsung Podcasts, Player FM, or YouTube. Kindly subscribe to the YouTube page. Like episodes, leave comments, show love, show hate. We here for it all. Tell a friend to tell 2 friends about us. It was nice to speak to a couple of listeners over the past week or so. Shout out to Sam, my youngin', the homie Alfie, and my boy Rel G. Appreciate y'all checking us out, along with all of our listeners, new and old. If you haven't already done so, look up sleepisforyou.com, the hub for all things sleep-related. Today is September 11th, and just 21 years ago, we were experiencing a national tragedy. But today marks an anniversary for many things.
Jay-Z's album came out. That's what you're talking about, right? The Blueprint, the class. That's what you're talking about, right?
You saying Blueprint was a tragedy?
I said,
That's a classic.
No, sir. I was talking about tragedy.
Tragedy.
I was talking about planes getting flown into buildings. But
I thought you said classic tragedy. I'm sorry.
Speaking of other things that occurred that day, Jay-Z's Blueprint, which is a classic, was released that day as well.
Technically, it was a tragedy for Nas at that point. But
that was rough for Nas. For Mobb Deep,
but I think the planes crashing into the building gave Nas, some time to, get his weight up. You know what I mean? And then the album, and the song came out. Yeah, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
Well, next thing you know, we had Stillmatic and Ether, and from what I hear, the Ether we heard is not even the Ether that he put together.
Exactly.
That was a watered down version of how he really Nas was going in.
He was going in. Yeah, I think that gave him some time, and he put out what he put out. He said he was just going to throw it out as soon as, but the September 11th happened, so everything kind of slowed down for him. He was able to curate a masterful diss track.
In other hip hop news, this also marks the anniversary of the release of Ghetto Fabulous. Fabulous's first album.
Yeah, that wasn't one of my favorites.
I was a Fab fan back in the day, and Ghetto Fabulous was one of the joints that I was going to.
Yeah, I think the one after that, that's when I started.
Street Dreams.
That first one wasn't for me.
Okay.
You said it wasn't for you, man.
Today also marks the anniversary of the historic showdown between 50 Cent and Kanye West when they both dropped their albums on the same day.
Oh yeah.
Curtis and Graduation. Yeah.
I think Curtis was the better album, but I think the Kanye West sold more or something.
Yeah, well, Kanye won that day.
Yeah, he won that day. I think that was like the last. That's it. Like after that, that was the end of CD sales. Like after that,
pretty
like,
much.
Years after that, it became streaming. After that, that was in 07, right? I think it was in 07.
Yes, 07.
Yep, and that was the end.
Just before I graduated from college.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
Happy birthday goes out to my grandmother, who turns 83 years young today. Salute to the lovely Ms. Wasetta Moses. We've got 2 top 5s for y'all this evening. Have you seen, have you heard? The Common Sense Space. And, of course, we've got all that good sports talk and coverage that makes this the top shelf. Our show time is 5:59. So, let's spin.
Let's go.
It is kickoff Sunday in the NFL. We did have a game Thursday night between the Bills and the Rams, but we'll get back to that because we're going to start off this week talking about the Eagles and the Lions. The Birds got off to a fairly slow start. The Lions pushed the ball down the field on their first drive to score, but Philly turned it around, getting scores from Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, and a pick six from newly acquired James Bradbury. At the end of the first, Jalen Hurts had a nice pass down the sideline to A.J. Brown, who he has a good rapport with, turning into a field goal following a Lions TD. And, I felt like the first half kind of went Philly's way for the most part. Once they got to the second half, it kind of changed up a little bit, but that Philly O-line is pretty serious.
Yeah, they look good.
In the second half, Philly got off to a pretty good start. And after a third quarter touchdown,
it was up like 38 to like 14. Was it 38-14?
It was either 38-14 or 38-21.
38-21. I'll say 38-21.
Yeah,
it was 38-21.
Yeah, and then after that, Eagles tried to put everything on cruise control, and the Lions said negative.
Exactly. The Lions was not going to stop fighting.
Yeah, I saw Eagles playing 12 yards off the ball from the corners. I don't like that.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately
playing that soft prevent defense, which is trash.
Ultimately, the Birds did escape with a 38-35 victory, but giving up 35 to Detroit is not a good look. I mean, I do understand that Detroit has a good offensive line themselves, and that can take you a good ways, but still, there's no reason why the Eagles should have gave up that many points to this team.
No.
That's my young boy right there, Swift out of Philly, man. You can tell when he was a young boy, he was inspired by LaShawn McCoy. You can tell how the way he was cutting and just going. You know So you can tell he was a shady fan 9-10 years ago. So he gashed the Eagles. He was getting in today.
Yeah,
I think that was the best game of his career.
Yeah, he was hitting them hard. He's been plagued with injuries over the past couple of seasons of his career, but he may be primed for a breakout, which is another thing we'll come back to later.
Yeah, he looked good today, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jared Goff is trash.
I mean, that's why that's why the Rams sent him packing.
Yeah, he
thought they'd have a better chance with Matthew Stafford.
The Eagles only sacked him one time. Come on, man.
Yeah, they definitely should have got more heat on him.
Yeah, come on, man. The Lions O-line, I think they were missing like two starters, I'll say. And y'all couldn't even, y'all got that little sack, but the only reason y'all got that sack was because he fumbled the snap. Other than that, y'all didn't get close to him.
No.
But I saw the Detroit line getting close to the Jalen Hurts every time he threw the ball. They were just blitzing the hell out of him.
They was in the backfield.
Yeah, when the Eagles are running downhill blocking, that was fine. But anytime they was passing, they was on his behind.
Mm-hmm.
So
on his top,
he's got to do a
pause.
Either they got to start, because it looks like a lot of the NFL teams are going to be running up on that line of scrimmage and making him beat them with their arm. And they're going to be doing a whole lot of 7 and 8 man blitzes. And they're just going to say, listen, man, you're going to have to prove to us that that your arm is the truth. You know what I mean? Because you don't see Patrick Mahomes getting 7, 8 man. You don't see that because he'll change to play real fast.
Exactly. And pick you apart.
Pick you apart. And Tom Brady, too. So he's got to get these defense in the NFL to respect him, because right now the Lions didn't respect him. I liked their strategy. They said, listen, we're going to go like the first 6 or 7 plays, they were just all out blitzing him. You know what I mean? And when they were blitzing him, as soon as he threw the ball, they were just throwing their hands up and knocking the ball down. That's kind of how they got back into the game, because they knew the Eagles wanted to throw the ball. You know what I mean? That kind of proved what they wanted to do. And they knew the Eagles weren't going to keep it on the ground. So anytime he threw the ball, they were just crowding that line of scrimmage. And
putting the heat on them.
Yeah.
Forcing them out of the pocket.
Yeah, just basically blitzing more than you can block. So, yeah, you got 5 blockers, but we're going to send 7. So
exactly.
I don't give a damn.
Somebody's going to get through.
I don't give a damn how good your O-line is. So the Eagles just have to be a little bit better of game planning and anticipating that teams are going to blitz them off the rip, and maybe bring some of those receivers in a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, have them run like a curl route, maybe a hitch, or maybe just a bubble screen. They try to run some bubble screen, but seemed like every time the Detroit was Detroit was just knocking the ball. They knocked it down about 3 or 4 times. But Miles Sanders, he had a good game. He finally had his first touchdown since 2020.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Back when he was wearing masks. You know what I mean? That's the last time he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, you know what? I think Detroit made a statement today, though, that they're not going to be a slouch team this year.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely
I'm not
fought.
saying they're going to be, like a winning team, but I think they came out and was like, look, we're going to ball a little bit this year.
Yeah, I mean, if they come against a team that is not as talented as them, or that tries to downplay them or play them sweet, there's a good chance that they can come out of that with a W. And A.J. Brown broke a Eagles record by having 155 receiving yards, which is most by any player in his Eagles debut.
Yeah, he was balling today.
So salute to A.J. Brown.
He definitely was balling today. I like that 155-yard pass.
That was a really good throw. If Jalen Hurts can do more of that, they'll respect him more, and they won't blitz no 6 or 7. He can throw balls like that on the dime. That was a really good throw. I was actually impressed by that throw. You got to make at least two of those in the game.
That's the one I was talking about down the sideline. That was a very good pass.
Yeah, that was a very good pass.
He had like 260 some yards passing, right?
Yeah, 260. I think it was 240. 240 to 260.
You talking about Hurts?
Yeah.
I'll look that up right now.
He didn't have any receiving touchdown. Everything was ran in by.
Yeah, everything was rushing.
Every running back they had.
They had 4 different people score a touchdown.
Yeah,
rushing.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts had 243 yards passing.
Yeah,
and another 90 yards with his legs.
He had 90, and I think Miles Sanders had 92.
Yep, Miles Sanders had 96.
Yep.
Him, Hurts, Gainwell, and Boston Scott all scored rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
So, the Eagles get out of week 1 with a W, start the season off 1-0 on a good note. So, we'll look forward to next week.
Monday night against the Vikings.
Yep.
Well, they're probably going to catch an L.
And the Vikings right now are up 10-0 against the Packers, and they're looking pretty good.
17-0.
Oh, it's 17? Oh, they scored again.
Yeah, Jefferson got 2 touchdowns.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson has 6 catches for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. There's 3:54 left in the second quarter.
Aaron Rodgers is cussing people out on the sidelines.
Well, moving on from that Eagles game, we'll get to another 1 o'clock game as the Steelers squared off with the Bengals and were able to shock Cincinnati in overtime, coming out with a 23-20 win.
Steelers. Hey, man, living in Central PA is, working out there is weird because you're less than 2 hours from Philly, but the vast majority of them are Steelers fans.
Yeah. Once you get past a certain point on the highway, it's Steelers country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but y'all closer to Philadelphia. But I don't know.
I think Pittsburgh got more championships. So
yeah, that's true. Pittsburgh has more chips.
You'll lean towards the winners. I ain't mad at you.
And there's a lot of people in Pennsylvania with issues specifically with the city of Philadelphia.
That's fine.
It's interesting. I don't care. But
I have issues with city. And I live here.
know I have issues with the city of Philadelphia.
I live here and I got issues with Philadelphia.
I definitely got some issues with the city.
But speaking of Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Trubisky in his debut as starting quarterback for them went 21 for 38, 194 yards and a touchdown. His lone touchdown pass was to Najee Harris. And on the passing note, the vast majority of their receptions went to Deontay Johnson and Pat Freiermuth, who, as we know, is, well, maybe we don't know, but that is their starting tight end.
Oh, okay.
Penn State.
Yeah, young guy. It's his second or third season. And on the running game, Pittsburgh really didn't have much going on at all. Their leading rusher was Chase Claypool, so that should tell you what you need to know. But on the Cincinnati side of the ball, Joe Burrow was
He was pretty horrid.
He was throwing up bricks.
He was horrid.
He had 338 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but he also had 4 interceptions.
And a fumble.
He
He turned the ball over 5 times himself.
Ooh.
They lucky to be even in the game at 20-20.
Wow.
He threw some bad.
That's a shot in the foot.
He threw some bad picks. I watched him. I was like, dang, what the hell was that, man?
The bright spot on the Bengals side of the ball was Jamar Chase, who came out of the game with 10 receptions for 129 yards and 1 touchdown. So he was giving out that work.
He made this one-hand catch in the back of the end zone, but the thing was his foot hit the goal, hit the white part. The catch was crazy. He caught it with one hand and basically gripped it up against his head and his chest. It was crazy.
And it got waved off.
Got waved off because his foot hit the. I think if he would have went up with 2 hands, I think he would have been able to drag his feet. But I think he just reaction was to grab it with one hand. But it was an amazing catch. It was crazy. But the touchdown catch was pretty good too. Just a simple out route and the corner just bit. But unfortunately, it was 20-20. All the field goal kicker was just make the extra point.
Field goal or make the extra point.
And Minka Fitzpatrick said, I don't think he did his best Mutombo and blocked it. And that's how they got to overtime. And then they got close again with a 39-yard field goal. No. And whoever the long snapper is had this high snap, and the kicker kicked it, and it was a bad transition. So Bengals had like at least 3 chances of winning this game.
So Minka Fitzpatrick did his thing because he scored a touchdown too.
Yeah, I think he had a pick 6. Yeah, yeah. So he had a really good game today, man. But the Bengals kind of like you said, they shot themselves in the foot.
Did you see that thing they put on TV now? That show now during the game they be showing all the blown opportunity stats.
Nah, I didn't notice that.
I just watched that the other day. They're like, blown opportunity, could have threw to this or blown. I'm like, man, they really break it down.
They gonna break it down.
Yeah, they take it as far as they can nowadays.
Yeah, but I think the Bengals will be fine, but that they're going to be looking at that game like, damn, we should have won that game.
Yeah, that's going to be one.
The 5 turnovers that's and the missed field goals that's come on, that's old Bengals stuff. Y'all supposed to be the new Bengals now. Come on now, that's like 1999 Bengals.
Yeah. But moving on from the Bengals and the Steelers, we're going to discuss the 49ers who went to Chicago and squared off with the Bears in the rain and fell to the Bears 19-10. So Chicago, who's a team that a lot of people had circled as going to be at the bottom of the barrel, playing in the toilet, starts off the season 1-0. Yeah. And the 49ers is a team that a lot of people are big on, including myself and Taylor.
Yep.
Screwed the pooch today.
They blew it.
Trey Lance in his debut as the undisputed starter went 13 for 28, 164 yards, no touchdowns and 1 interception. He was sacked twice and he chipped in 54 yards on the ground. Deebo Samuel had 8 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown. And, that's pretty much where things began and ended for the San Francisco offense. It was pretty tough sledding.
No George Kittles. Is it Emmanuel? Whatever the running back. Elijah
Mitchell.
Mitchell, he got hurt. And he just never came back. So it was just the one of those games that was just. I mean, first of all, 49ers are coming to the East Coast. Yeah. So that's already like a little sketchy.
It makes a little bit of a difference when you got to travel coast.
And that rain was crazy. And the crazy thing was, they said in Chicago they just replaced that grass like 3 or 4 days ago. So that field was terrible.
Oh, no.
Anytime you stepped in the grass, you saw like a big puddle come up. Like I don't know why they didn't resod the grass 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
Let it get, when it gets hot, then it gets cold. Let the sun hit it and let that grass. But they literally just did that grass 2-3 days ago, and
Act like you didn't know the season was coming.
Yeah,
man.
like that. I don't know,
Somebody
something else
dropped the
happened in
ball.
between. I don't know, but that grass. I mean, it was crazy. Like, and there was, I think
Maybe
Debo
they just
Samuels
wanted to
fumbled the
fresh his
ball.
field.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if they didn't anticipate the rain was coming because it was drenched out there. It was crazy. It was like by the time they got to the fourth quarter, they had the camera out there. It looked like some old school stuff. You couldn't even see what was going on. It was just a bunch of water, and I think they didn't like. It was crazy. Like that was one of them rains where it's just like, damn,
Yeah.
like a monsoon out there. Yeah.
Well, on the Chicago side of the ball, in the battle of the second-year quarterbacks, Justin Fields went 8 for 17 for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 121 yards. So he was a little more on the positive side than Trey Lance. He was also sacked twice, and he chipped in 11 carries for 28 yards. Their starting running back, David Montgomery, only had 17 carries for 26 yards. He did not get into the end zone. But what's my man name right here? Khalil Herbert.
Herbert got in. Yeah.
He did get into the end zone. 9 carries for 45 yards. And their receiving numbers are
I think Pettis had like the one. He it was funny. Justin Fields on the other side of the field, and he just threw it to the other side. The old okey doke, and he just ran. That was like the only good passing play they had. Austin Pettis or Jordan, whatever his name
It's
is. Pettis. Is it Austin?
Dante
Dante
Pettis.
Pettis. Yeah, who's
Dante Pettis had 1 catch for 51 yards. That lone catch for a touchdown.
For a touchdown. That was the only highlight that they had that whole game, and I think they had a couple of interceptions defensive wise. But yeah, it was just a crazy game, and I'm just looking at the 49ers. It was like as a hype team, they got to kind of like I said, a lot of people were out. People got hurt, so that's one of them games where they're going to be shell shocked. But hopefully, within the next couple weeks, they can get stuff back together, and Trey Lance can get back home, and get into the offense. They can get Debo Samuel the ball, throwing the ball, because I think he only had like 1 catch and 2 catches for like 12 yards, but he mostly was running the ball. So we'll see what the 49ers do, and we'll see if Elijah Mitchell is how hurt is he, and then Kittles too, who got hurt on Monday. And then didn't practice all week and then was out. So,
well, being a hype team, taking that L will bring you back down to earth.
Yeah.
But, like we said, the 49ers start off the season 0-1. The Bears get a win in the bag, and, we'll see where things go from there for them.
Yeah.
Backtracking just a little bit to Thursday night, we had the opening game of the season between the Buffalo Bills and the LA Rams, which the Bills were able to come away with a victory after a tied game at halftime. They ended up turning up and won the game 31-10.
And that was an annihilation.
Yeah, to start off the season 1-0 from SoFi Stadium in LA.
They sacked what's the name, like 6 or 7 times, man.
You talking about Stafford?
Stafford, yeah.
Yeah, Stafford was stacked 7 times.
But I saw him a lot of times he was getting hurt. I mean, I heard he was getting demolished by Von Miller and there's another defensive end. He was getting wild
In Buffalo?
Yep. Oh yeah, in Buffalo. It's Von Miller and I think AJ Espinosa. He was getting hammered to the ground. Yeah.
Talking about sacks, it looks like AJ Espinosa had 1.5.
Yep.
Jay Phillips had 1.5. Von Miller had 2.
Yeah, he was.
Rosu had 1.
Yep, he was. Every time I saw him, he was getting sacked or getting put to the ground. They were putting him to the ground.
Basham had 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole damn defensive line.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So, and I remember they lost Whitworth. He retired, and I think they had drafted maybe a guy in the 3rd or 4th round. He got hurt, so that whole O line is a little bit displaced after the right tackle. So everyone on that they either brand new or I don't know, but that O line is not as good as it has been over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And they've let a lot of guys go over the years, because the Rams pay their special players like Donald and what's his name, Cooper Kupp and Jalen Ramsey. They don't really pay the linemen. So. Yeah, they're gonna have to do something with that O line because the team starts with the offensive line. You got to have a solid offensive line.
Yeah. The game is won and lost in the trenches. A lot of people say, and as me and Taylor said, it really depends on the organization because certain organizations pay a lot more for their trenches guys than for their skill position guys. Then there's teams that kind of tend more towards paying the big name players than the other players. So. It just depends on which organization we're talking about.
Yeah, you got to protect the quarterback. You got to.
Yeah, no doubt.
They can't have him getting slammed. Matthew Stafford was getting slammed. That's every time. That's why I stopped watching. I said this boy's just he's getting demolished every play.
And they just acquired him last year in a trade with Detroit for Jared Goff.
And he already had an elbow surgery.
He helped them get a ring.
Yeah, but he had elbow surgery already. Y'all need to y'all better keep him upright, or it's gonna be a short season for y'all.
Plus, he's a little long in the tooth as it is.
Yeah. We'll see.
Matthew Stafford is 34 at this point, so you gotta, like you said, protect your quarterback. But on the Buffalo side of the ball, as for quarterback, Josh Allen went 26 for 31, almost crossed 300 yards, but he had 297, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice, and he was their leading rusher as well with 10 carries for 56 yards. Stephon Diggs was the leading receiver, 8 receptions for 122 yards and a touchdown, followed by Gabe Davis with 4 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown. So, the Buffalo Bills offense was definitely able to pull things together after halftime because, like I said, they went into the half. It was tied, I'm pretty sure, 10-10. And, they came out in the second half and Buffalo turned it up. So, salute to Bills Mafia and to West New York's own Buffalo Bills for getting a win on the road. So that's going to do it for specific NFL talk, and we're going to get into our first edition of FFA, Fantasy Football Advice, for all of our people out there that are, competing in the fantasy football leagues this year. We're returning with our suggestions and advice for you to help you to get your team to victory and ultimately to a championship.
Like me.
Exactly. So, my advice for people, being that it's so early in the season, it's the first week, is honestly at this point just hold steady. I actually had a discussion with one of my friends a couple of days ago. He got offered a trade. Somebody was trying to get who was it, T. Higgins off of him, and was trying to get somebody else was trying to give him T. Higgins. Was trying to give him Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I gave him my suggestions, my advice about that. But
they wanted him to give them T. Higgins.
They wanted T. Higgins, and they wanted to give him Cooper Kupp.
Jesus Christ! Did he take the deal?
I don't know. We didn't end up deciding what played out. He just asked me for my advice.
Whoever did that trade must be on that powder. Why would you trade the best receiver? He had 13 catches. You didn't even say his stats. He had 13 catches for 128 yards and the touchdown on Thursday night. He killed it. You know what I mean? He's always going to get it. He's always going to get his numbers. Yeah.
Maybe they're looking at him being at the apex and feel like, because this is a dynasty league, mind you. So maybe they feel like at some point in time, he's going to end up hitting that wall and going down. And T. Higgins still has more growth to experience as a player. I don't know.
T. Higgins
I don't want to speak for nobody else.
T. Higgins got a concussion today. Just added.
Going into that protocol.
Didn't finish the game, so.
Oh no.
That's all I'll say about. That's all I'll say about that.
Did you see that?
It wasn't a hard hit, but it was just, anytime somebody get concussion, it's always like, all right, well, is he gonna be able to play? Is this his first one? Is this the second one? Is this the third one? Because after a while, you start getting them, and then you're gonna be on that sideline with the coat on.
They're gonna have you in that tent. Then you're gonna come out with that sad look on your face.
Yeah. You're gonna have the hoodie on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Every other week. You know what I mean? Looking crazy.
Oh man.
But for the most part, I'm just telling people on the fantasy football note to hold steady, trust your draft, be happy with what you got. If you screwed the draft and you messed up, try to work in the waiver wire as much as you can. There's a good amount of quarterback talent. I was looking over someone else's waiver wire. And I saw Tua Tagovailoa was in there, and I'm pretty sure he had a good day. I saw Freiermuth from Pittsburgh was in there, the tight end, so he can get you some good points if your tight end situation is looking suspect. But yeah, just try to work in your waiver wire, try to hold steady with what you got, and that's what I say to people at this point in the season. It's the first week, you're just seeing teams play for the first time. Kind of chill out unless you have a specific move that you want to make that is going to push your team to another level. Taylor, what do you got to tell them about fantasy football this week?
What about fantasy football? Listen, man, pretty much the same thing. Just be patient. You gotta be patient, man. Don't make any hasty moves. I mean, well, I don't even know what I'm saying because people don't listen to me. We can move on. Nobody listen to me.
Thank you.
People are just so weird.
Oh, so you don't like no advice from people this
No,
week?
man,
All right.
people don't listen. Man. People
You
just
know what? See, you might need that breath one day when you're old. Be like, you know what? I need it. You might be on your deathbed or something. You might need that.
I probably said this same crap 2 years ago and the year before that. I'm not repeating myself, man. Listen, man, if you ain't never won, it's probably you. I win all the time. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to win.
How many chips you won at this point, Taylor? Or have you lost count?
I can't count, man. I just always win, man. It's easy. It's very easy. All I got to do is gauge who. It's not even about the players. It's about the people in your league. If people in your league are not smart, you can just outsmart them. But if you're dumb just like them, then you never win. That's the only advice I can give you. You got to know what you're doing when you're playing. A lot of people that watch football, they don't know what the hell is even going on. They don't know about the third or fourth string running back on Seattle Seahawks. They don't know. They just have no clue.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. I can't tell you to do something. You might have 3 or 4 kids running around. You can't. You just like I said, you better draft good at that first time. If not, you're gonna have a hard season.
It's gonna be a rough season. Yeah.
If you're playing for money, it's gonna be in the toilet.
Yeah. If you mess up your draft.
Taylor don't like giving his good money away to anybody. So
you better get ready for next season.
I pays attention to people. That Taylor, how you know all that? Because I pay attention. I want to win. I'm not trying to just doing it just for fun to be in some group chat with a bunch of men. I ain't got no time for that, man.
Nah, not at all.
Like a sissy? Nah, get out of here, man. I'm trying to win.
All right.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up, man?
Something a little unrelated on college football because I just seen something new.
Yes, sir.
Something called the targeting rule. And they can put you out the game for targeting.
Yeah, if you target someone's head, they can put you out. Yes, college is a little bit more safer. If your helmet falls off, you out the game for one play. If you hit someone in their head, they'll actually replay it, and they're trying to keep the players. It's like NFL is a little bit more like. They'll just give you a 15-yard penalty. In the college, they don't want people getting hurt, so they just basically pull you out the game. I remember somebody, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, it's like a really good safety. He targeted somebody, and they just put him out the game, and it changed the whole complexion of the game. I think it was one of the Alabama safeties targeted somebody, and it wasn't really a target, but you cannot make head.
Yeah, like a spear.
The crown of your helmet, you can't. I don't care if you didn't do it by accident.
No helmet.
You're out of the game. Yeah, they changed that rule about 4 or 5 years ago. They're trying to keep the kids safe, so I'm not mad. I'm not mad at them for that.
Okay. I just had seen it. The guy didn't get kicked out, but they definitely was looking at it on a replay. And at first, he thought he was out the game, but he wasn't. I think he was jumping in.
It's a judgment call. Like the refs say, you know what, he got to go. But I think some of the refs were like, you know, he didn't mean it. We'll let him play. You know what I mean, but I think when they first did the first 2 years, they didn't care. You were out of the game. So maybe they're being a little bit more lenient as it goes by. But
they're trying case by case.
They're trying to eliminate all those hits because those are crazy.
You got to protect the babies.
Now we go to NFL, we don't care. We'll just find you. And if you do it twice in the game, then we'll kick you out. So.
Yeah.
Like old boy got kicked out the game today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Can't do it. Yeah. If you do it twice, you're out of here.
Perfect example, E. All right, well, that's going to do it for fantasy football advice for week 1. So we're going to get into our first edition of Top 5. And our Top 5, first one this week is going to be players we think could have a one-hit wonder type of season. So, you know, pretty much we're expecting them, or we are forecasting them to have a good year this season. And then, you know, maybe things kind of fall off for them after that point. And we've had historically a lot of people who have fallen into this category and ended up in this situation. Taylor, you want to run down a couple names?
Braylon Edwards, he had like 16 touchdowns. Peyton Hillis, Darren McFadden, Thomas Rawls, remember him?
Yep.
Everybody remembers Victor Cruz, that one good season, and he just disappeared after that.
Was hitting people with the cha-cha.
Yep. Josh Gordon, remember him?
Yeah, Josh Gordon.
You know what I mean?
Had a lot of speed, but like to smoke a lot of weed.
He liked to smoke a lot of weed and whatever else he liked to do. Vernon Davis, he was like mediocre for 3 or 4 years. Had that 1 year where he had like 16 touchdowns. Never got anywhere close to that.
With the 49ers.
Yeah, I guess we could put Case Keenum. You know, the Eagles faced against him, and he was a really good quarterback
with
that
Minnesota.
year. Minnesota.
Then they gave him his own shot with Denver, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. How about this name? Kenny Britt.
Kenny Britt.
I'm talking about a guy. He went to Rutgers. He was there for about 3 or 4, and I think his last year at Tennessee, he was always hurt.
Yep.
But in his last year, I think he had like maybe 1,300 yards. He got a free agent contract with some team, and he just disappeared. Every time I used to see him, he was always on the sideline.
Casper.
Yeah. Terrell Pryor, when he played receiver, remember him?
Oh, TPs. He was drafted as a quarterback, and he transitioned to wide receiver. He started getting busy.
Yeah.
He got a couple. He had a nice season with Cleveland, I think.
He had like over 1,100 yards receiving.
He got a nice contract the next offseason, and that was that.
Yeah. Well, I'll even take it back in the day. These are some old names right here. David Boston, Olandis Gary, and Mike Anderson. Remember those names?
Olandis Gary.
I think Terrell Davis got hurt, and Olandis Gary came in and put in that work. And then the very next year, I think Olandis Gary got hurt, and Terrell Davis got hurt again. And then Mike Anderson came in and ran for like 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
And then never to be heard from again.
Rap.
It happens a lot in the NFL. Like, people just end up going into these systems and end up doing real, real good. And then the starter comes back, and they don't get back in, and they go to move on to another team. It's a different system, and they just disappear.
Hey, I got a name Philly people should think of, should remember. Nnamdi Asomugha. Remember, Nnamdi was that boy out in Oakland. He's one of the best corners in the league.
No, he don't.
They brought him to Philly. Switched up his situation.
That's the opposite. He had good seasons in Oakland. Then when he got to Philly, he was trash. I'm talking about one season.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah,
my apologies.
That's different.
Pardon me.
He was actually good in Oakland. I don't know what happened on the flight from Oakland to Philly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was Kerry Washington. I don't know. She just drained him. Girls can drain men. They definitely can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by drain.
Women can be draining.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the other drain. Maybe she was draining him.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I don't know what happened when he came to Philly. He just wasn't the same guy. But we'll move on. But we'll give our top 5. Whoever can come with just who's been in the league for at least a couple years and then have that one outlying season, or technically like a one-hit wonder season.
No.
So who's the MC Hammer? Or not MC Hammer. Who's the Vanilla Ice of the NFL this year?
All right. So at number 5 on my list, I got a couple people that played in the game today. And at number 5, I have DeAndre Swift, running back for the Lions. He's had a couple of seasons that were played with injury, and he's been kind of in and out, and he hasn't been able to get that one, healthy season. And I think this one is going to be it. And, he showed today against the Eagles that he can get busy. They have a pretty good offensive line, even in spite of the injuries that they've sustained. So, as long as they can keep that together and the kid can stay healthy, I think this can be a good season for him. But let's be honest. When's the last time the Detroit Lions have had a good running back?
After Barry Sanders, they had Reggie Bush. Well, Reggie Bush, Javid Best, but all these guys were like, they had one season. That was it.
Exactly.
They had Michael LaShore. All these running backs that just didn't last long.
So
they had the boy from Philly, Kevin Jones.
So we're talking Barry Sanders, who retired in 98, 97,
Ever
something like that?
In between, there's been like a one-hit wonder or somebody that's halfway good and then they just don't last long. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm expecting a solid season from DeAndre Swift this year, but I don't know if you're going to see too much after that. Number 4, kind of pains me to throw his name into this conversation and this discussion because I did like the kid when he came out of college, and this is not to necessarily hold the injury against him, but I think that he has a potential to have a good year this year, and then after that, we'll see where it goes. But that's Jerry Jeudy, receiver out in Denver. He's a guy that has a good amount of speed. He has good hands. And, of course, he's going to benefit from the addition of Russell Wilson. So we'll see how things end up playing out for him long term. But I think he has the potential to have a good year this year. Number 3, I'm going to take it to a guy with Cleveland that we were just talking about. He was a name that was popping up here and there last year, especially towards the end of the season. But there's Donovan Peoples-Jones. And, he's another receiver. He is going to be in something of a tough situation to start the season because their starting quarterback, Deshaun Watson, as we know, is not going to be playing. Mm-hmm. But, if he can get a little bit of momentum going with the backup that's in there right now, it's Brissett that's playing right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if he can get a little bit of a thing going with Brissett, by the time Deshaun Watson comes back in, he's another guy with speed. He's another guy with that over-the-top ability. And he has good hands, so he may be able to benefit from playing with Deshaun Watson because he's a guy that has a big arm, but is also accurate.
Michigan's finest, Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yes, sir. Number 2, I'm going to take it to a guy who is in a new system this year. He just switched teams from Arizona going to Jacksonville, and that's Christian Kirk. And he's another receiver. I think he can benefit from playing with Trevor Lawrence, who's a guy who had a lot of success in college and is trying to translate that to the NFL. It was very tough for Jacksonville last season between horrible play on the field and horrible leadership at the top with the head coach. We're not even going to mention his name. But this year, they've got Dougie P. They gave him a couple more weapons, and Christian Kirk is one of those. He's a veteran. He's been in Arizona for a couple of seasons now, and he just hasn't quite been able to really hit like they were projecting him to do when they drafted him. So I think that he can turn this new situation, this new team, into something good. And if Jacksonville ends up having a good season, I think he'll play a pretty vital role in that. And I'm going to finish it up with the number 1 guy on my list, hometown guy, played today. We talked about him earlier, Miles Sanders, a.k.a., as Taylor refers to him, Miles Hamstring.
Yeah, mild hamstring.
Because he's been having some issues staying healthy again.
Every year.
Over his last couple of seasons, even to when he was coming out of Penn State. He was having trouble staying on the field back when he was in Happy Valley. But, we saw today he exploded. He had a pretty good game. And even though they have something of a committee with him, Gainwell, and Boston Scott, I think that can work to his benefit because it can take a little bit of the pressure off of him. Now he's not called on to be the every down, 3-down back. They can spread things out a little bit more, and that might be able to help his longevity over the course of the season. And if he can have a healthy season where he plays at least 14, 15, maybe even 16 games, which might be wishful thinking, but I think that he can have a breakout year this year. And after that point, like I said with the other guys, we'll see what happens. We'll see if he ends up continuing that, staying consistent, or he falls off and goes back into that injury boat. But I see good things from Miles Sanders this year, and I think that that's going to positively, of course, benefit the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's going to do it for my top 5 list. And I'll get it over to Taylor so he can list off his top 5 players that he expects to have a one-hit wonder type of season.
All right, so I'm going to go down to Houston. And he actually played pretty well today, but they played to a tie. I can't stand when teams get ties. Actually, I might start rooting against both of those teams. But Houston has a quarterback by the name of Davis Mills. Now, I like Lovie Smith as the coach. I've always thought he's been a solid coach.
Former Chicago coach.
He got a raw deal out in Tampa Bay. He got there. He was okay, and then they hired some white guy who was the offensive coordinator, and then he got fired, which is why you got what you got down there now with Bruce Arians, and then it moved to Todd Bowles right now. But he was the person that's supposed to be down there to help, Jameis Winston and all that stuff. But I think Davis Mills is going to actually be a solid quarterback just this year, and I think it's going to make them think about, let's just say if they finish in the top 5 or top 10, it's going to make them determine, do we draft the quarterback or do we just bring this guy along? But I think he can actually put up some numbers this year.
Okay.
And, make them just ponder, like, should we keep this guy or because they got him in the 3rd round last year. He played okay towards the end, and today he actually played okay. So I think it's going to I think he can actually play down there and actually give them some thoughts about what should we do.
Okay.
All right. Number 4, this guy has been in the league for 4 years. Oh, this is his 4th year, and he's basically got the deep threat on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is Mecole Hardman. We've been hearing about this kid for years. When they drafted him, he was actually supposed to replace Tyreek Hill because he had some problem with his baby mama. He put hands on her, but I don't know what happened to that case. It just disappeared, and Tyreek Hill just ended up playing, and Mecole Hardman was kind of like the backup plan. So he was supposed to be a really, really fast guy out of Georgia. He is fast, and I think he had some early punt returns when he got there, but now he's basically a receiver right now.
He said in this offseason that he was going to replace what they lost in Tyreek Hill.
Well, we'll see, man, because he hasn't really shown anything. He drops the ball. Last year, he dropped a couple balls last year. And there was some points last year where he was basically overtaken by, what's the guy named Byron Pringle? He plays for Chicago right now.
Pringle.
So it was basically Tyreek Hill, Robinson, and then Pringle. He wasn't even a 3rd or 4th wide receiver. He wasn't even a 4th wide receiver. So
because then they had Travis Kelce.
Yeah. So he's got to basically show, and this is his 4th year. This is his year to where he's got to show. Because if not, they got Sky Moore behind him. Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, they're going to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's got to find a way to, to stay on that field, because if not, they'll just replace him with Sky Moore, and then they'll just do the same thing they did with him 3 years later to what Sky Moore is. He'll just be the deep threat, and then Markel Homer will just be a free agent next year.
Yeah, you can get up out of here real quick.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a guy that, he could have a big season this year, get a contract, whether it be with the Chiefs or somebody else, and he can show off. You know what I mean? But he's got the speed, just got to be able to catch the ball. Number 3, he's a tight end. I liked him in college, but he's kind of like, he got traded, in the Russell Wilson deal. I'm gonna go with Noah Fant. He's always got the speed. I think he ran like a 4.4 at the combine.
He's got good hands.
I don't know about all that. I mean, he's got okay hands, you know what I mean? But the reason why he didn't blow up was because, his hands were kind of suspect. But as soon as they were able to get Russell Wilson, they just traded him away because Seattle's just thinking off the potential of Noah Fant. His hands are kind of, suspect. And maybe, I don't know what it is, but he just hasn't blown up like they thought he was in the draft. And this would be his 4th year this year. So he's had some time.
I guess I've been seeing the wrong clips.
No. He don't, Tell watch football. Sometimes he's running bad routes. I don't know what it is, but he just hasn't blown up. And he's also been nicked up too. I think he played pretty much all the games last year though, but he just hasn't hit. So we'll see what happens in Seattle. I mean, he's in a horrible situation with all them raggedy quarterbacks up there. So he's not in the best place, you know what I mean? But I just want to put him on there. Maybe he can be one of those inline tight ends that can just catch all the easy balls and stuff like that, and maybe he can get 75 to 80 catches or something like that. Because right now he's around like 50. You know what I mean, which is when you draft a tight end in that first round, you want to be in the 75-80 range. He ain't nowhere near that.
Tight ends are often the safety blanket for their quarterbacks, which is why they end up getting so high in catches.
Yep.
So, let's see if he can be that for Seattle this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got another tight end. This would be number 2. And we'll go to the Colts, and we'll go with Mo Ali Cox. He's been there for years. He was a basketball player. They drafted him, just be a jump ball type tight end.
Yeah.
But he never overtook Jack Doyle. Well, Jack Doyle's out. He's retired, and so he's basically the number 1 tight end. They drafted another tight end last year, and they drafted one this year. But he's the number 1 guy. He's about 6'6", maybe 6'7". I think he only caught 2 passes a day, but he's a guy that could blow up. Because Matt Ryan, he does like to throw to the tight ends and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
he had Tony Gonzalez in Atlanta for a while.
Tony Gonzalez, and he had Austin Hooper. He got Austin Hooper, who had an outlying year, and then he disappeared when he went to Cleveland. So we got to see what can Molly Cox can he do what Austin Hooper did in his 4th year of his contract, and maybe have an outlying year. I don't know, but he's going to be pretty much single coverage every game. You know what I mean? And so we'll see about him. He's my number 2 player.
And that's actually a really good position for this particular top 5 is tight end, because I can, off the top of my head right now, think about 3, 4, 5 tight ends that had that one good season, might have got a deal, or just was getting looks, and the next season you just was like, what happened to
them?
What
happened to him? Exactly. It happens a lot with the tight end position, because you get that deal, you go to another team, and it's not the same offense. You know what I mean? So I'm always conscious that when a tight end changes to another team, I kind of stay off when I'm doing that fantasy football. But my number 1 is this man's a player. He wiped up what's that fine model? I forget her name. But he gave her a baby, but she left him. And Sterling Shepard, man, remember him?
Sterling Shepard?
Yeah, Sterling Shepard from the Giants, man. He's still with the Giants. You know what I mean?
Is he?
Yes.
I thought he was somewhere else now.
No, he's still with the Giants. I've had to look, because I was looking around like, when did this guy? He was supposed to be the man.
He was like the hybrid tight end wide receiver type of guy.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like a slot guy and stuff like that. He played with Baker Mayfield way back in the day, and then he came to the NFL, but he's always hurt. Something's always wrong with him.
Just never panned out.
Yeah, so he could be that guy that just had that. I think he's only 28 or 29 years old, so he's technically still young, but he just always hurt. So I just think that maybe if the Giants can just find him, because they don't have no tight end. You know what I mean? They got rid of their tight end. They got some rookie guy, but he could be that guy that could be on the end line, in the slot. They can move him all over the place. They got outside receivers with Kadarius Toney and Wandale Robinson from Kentucky. So they got like the outside guys, but he's got to find his way in, or he might just be out of the NFL next year if he can't find it this year, because he's been on that team for about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah. So
he just never, like you said before, he just never hit.
He could be one of these guys that could just have, like, dang, we didn't even know he still played it. He played with Odell and he played with all those guys. You know what I mean? So Sterling Shepard's my number one guy. He's got to be that guy to just, well, not got to be, but he could be that guy to just show up, get a contract next year, and then he'll just disappear back to being hurt and injured and ankle injuries and all that stuff. So, yeah, he's my number one guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And shout out, as we're talking about the Giants, to Nikki Gist, co-host of the 3rd and 3 podcast. They talk Giants up there.
Her name is what?
Nikki. It's either Gist or Gist. I met her through IG.
For real?
And they host the podcast where they talk mainly Giants.
Is she single?
I don't know about all that. I ain't worried about all that because I'm doing a couple of things over here. But that's going to do it for our first dish in the top 5. And moving out of that, we're going to get into this week's version of Have You Seen, Have You Heard? So, Taylor, what you got for the people this week, and have you seen, have you heard?
I got one. Have you seen? It over-trumped everything that happened this week, and I got to talk about this.
Wait, we got one?
Just one.
Just one. All right.
I'm gonna drag it out because this we got a fraud alert out here.
Oh no!
A fraud.
What's going on?
Alert. I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna have to pay E because I'm probably gonna be doing a whole lot of just cussing this. Quando Rondo. This is a clown, man. Can you believe this man put up an Instagram post denouncing his flag as a Crip? Sir, you got people dead because of you, sir.
That's a fact. Quando Rondo has been out here in these streets running amok.
First of all, he's not even from the street. He's from Savannah, Georgia. Ain't no Crips out there. Not from what I know of. You know what I mean? I was just in Georgia.
That's where the city where I moved from.
Yeah, he's familiar with Savannah.
Well, I'll ask E because I knew he was from around it, but I didn't want to put. Are there Crips down there? I mean,
not that I know of.
Ain't no blue flags.
Don't get it twisted. They'll push your wig in Savannah, Georgia.
That's anywhere.
Don't sleep on it. But I don't know if
that's the state of the state of Georgia. I think they have an open carry state, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think they have an open carry.
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody's got guns to cripple sons down there. You know what I mean? Anybody can get that smoke. You know what I mean? But he's claiming that he's some type of some Crip, and he got another Instagram post where he said, on my life, I love this Crip stuff even more than I love my own daughter. This is what this man has said out of his own mouth.
In the past.
In the past,
and now he's switching it up.
And now this man is switching up after his man's got his spaghetti knocked out of the back of his head.
Yeah, the bull got rocked with him.
Got rocked with him. Got assassinated. I don't even want to say assassinated. Got that work in the pages. It had him spalled out. And Quando Rondo is crying.
He said,
screaming.
That's enough.
Yeah, screaming. It's all on Instagram. It's on YouTube too. He's crying and screaming. No, not my friend. No, like a whole goofy, like a sissy, crying. And then he giving statements to the police. This is what I'm telling you about you people. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Why you don't have to overextend yourself and try to be with these groups that like these the Crips. They are dangerous. You know what I mean? The Rolling State, all them niggas are dangerous. So you trying to be associated with somebody like that, and then people are getting laid down. You had a beef with Vaughn, and then your friend kills Vaughn. Now your friend is going to be in jail till February 31st. He ain't never getting out, little Tim. He's gone.
It's over for that man.
Yeah. You better put some money on his commissary.
That's a fact.
So you ruined at least 3 people's lives. You've ruined King Vaughn. Now, King Vaughn wasn't perfect, but he's gone. Little Tim, who killed him, he's gone. And now your friend who got lit up like a Christmas tree, and now you crying and you was giving statements to the police. Stop trying to be gangster. Like, stop it. Just let because he can actually rap. He's actually talented. I'm not even mad at him rapping, but I'm mad at him denouncing it. No, you don't. You just can't join a gang and then just leave. This ain't some type of kickball game when you're playing in high school. This is like real life, bro. Like, listen,
I'm not 100% familiar with everything that goes down in that in you know what I'm saying, gang culture and stuff like that. But it's my understanding that when you in. That's that. Yeah, flesh. If you're trying to get out, they gotta take flesh. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about chores. It might be somebody you love. So you can't just play games with people. Like, that's not funny, man. Like, you can't have people just laid out in the street dead and you just, I don't want to do this no
no more. No, brother, you in there. You was on Lily, you said that this is what I want to be. I want to be a Crip. I'm ready to die for this. And I don't even care about my daughter. This is what this man said. This young man said. So I just don't like when people do that, man. You play games to get hype, and now you copping the plea.
Please.
Don't do that, man, because we come from that's perpetrating the fraud, sir.
Man, take shit up the block.
Don't do that, man. Do not do that. I'm telling anybody that's around that young age, don't try to be something that you're not, man. This dude is a clown, man. He's a fraud. He's a clown. Ooh. And he's going to end up getting himself hurt because now, let's just say if he flies to L.A., are you denouncing the flag, huh? Oh, we got your little friend. We might get you next. You know what I mean? Be careful who you trying to be cool and who you trying to be associated with. You will get yourself dealt with, man. That's not funny, man. You don't join gangs and then, now I don't want to do this no more. This is what they do. Yeah. They've been laying people down for decades now.
Yeah.
This is
decades.
This is coming from a square from the suburb. That's me. And I know this. I'm from the suburbs.
From the suburbs?
You from Savannah, Georgia, and you claiming that life, running around with NBA YoungBoy, and then people have gotten killed because of you, because you being a goofy and being a clown, and now you trying to denounce it. No, don't work like that, sir. No, you can't do that. This is not hide and go seek or change. I want to change this team. No, you can't do that, sir.
That ain't how this goes.
No, don't work like that.
That ain't how this game is played.
I'm pretty sure you was getting extorted, and you saw that money going away, and you said, "Oh no!" And he's an idiot too. I saw the interview he did with Angela Lee about a year ago. He's a fool. He must have dropped out in the 3rd grade. He's a fool. He's an idiot. Just the way, I'm saying, just the imbecile. I don't like stuff like that, man. I think that's just, I don't like when people do that. If you're in the gang, you got to stay in that forever. So I'm sorry, sir. You can't denounce your flag. No.
Yeah.
You got to keep it moving. Yes, that's the only thing. Have you heard this Quando Wando situation?
Oh, no.
Denouncing his flag, a long essay.
Oh no.
A clown talking about denouncing my flag as a Crip. Stop it.
Well, I have you heard, since we did talk about this. Well, I brought this up a few months back when it was still in the preparation stages, but last night, Le'Veon Bell knocked out Adrian Peterson in their exhibition match. And to put a little cherry on top, Swaggy P was also in the building, and he was also shown to his back pockets during a fight with rapper Malcolm Minicon.
Yeah, I never heard of Malcolm Minicon. I don't know who that is.
Hold on. You said he knocked out Adrian Peterson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, knocked him straight out. Put him on his back pockets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Did he
with a straight right.
He had to dust his back off, huh?
Yeah, man.
Tried to get up and didn't work out too well.
AP looked confused.
That was it for him.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
See, these jumping in this boxing ring thinking they're sweet and they just going to be in there throwing hands and putting people down. No. It can go the other way too, sir.
Oh, no.
I saw it this morning.
AP.
Yeah.
AP.
I woke up to it this morning. I didn't stay up last night to watch, but yeah.
Oh, man. Such a good running back.
All right, well, good people. That's it for Have You Seen, Have You Heard? So now we get into the common sense space. And this week's topic is the entertainment industry trying to emasculate the black man?
Demasculate.
Demasculate, excuse me, the black man.
Yes.
Yeah, they ain't trying to make him look strong. They trying to make this man look weak.
Super weak.
Super weak.
Everywhere we are now, it's
Well,
you know what? And because it's so sensitive, you have to watch how you word everything. But I definitely see us being portrayed very weak and out here. They got us looking crazy.
Yeah, it's a fact. I think this week we're all on the same page with our answer to this question. It's a definite yes. The entertainment industry just the decision makers on a whole, it seems like, are trying to do what they can to add to the degradation of the image of the black man that they've been perpetuating for years. Mm-hmm. This is nothing new. This is something that's been going on since they allowed black people to be on TV.
Yeah, for real.
Since they allowed black people to be in the entertainment industry, in music, and whatever the case may be. It's sad, but it's what it is, and it's what it's been. And as long as we continue to throw our hats in the ring of what they deem popular and what they deem important, that's going to be continuing to be what's perpetuated and what's shown until black people make decisions for themselves as far as entertainment and things of that nature. That'll be when we start to see a different image, I think, of the black man portrayed and displayed before us.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Like, they got the power, man.
Yeah.
And as long as you got hungry artists and hungry actors and broke people and people just, willing to do some things to rise above their situation, I mean, you can't be mad at them. But, like, I don't know. I believe there was a time when we did have some standards and we wouldn't accept certain things. Mm-hmm. Like, nah, bro. I really appreciate what you're doing for my career, but this isn't the way I want to be remembered.
This whole topic just reminds me of that whole Dave Chappelle situation back in the day. He was in something, and they had a discussion about what he was going to do and how his role was going to go. And he went to his dressing room, and there was a dress in there, and they was trying to talk him into putting the dress on, and he said, "No, I'm not wearing the dress. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it has anything to do with the bit that we're doing. Mm-hmm. Why do y'all want me to wear the dress?" And it just escalated from there, and they ended up getting the head of the studio to come down to his trailer to try to convince him and talk him into putting on the dress. And he said, "No, I will not go in front of the camera with this dress on. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. It is goofy." And he ended up walking away from Hollywood, and that big season 3 Chappelle Show check, partly due to that situation.
Yeah, they got that.
Mm-hmm. He didn't want to compromise his his manhood. Nothing wrong with being a man. Like, they making it seem like it's bad to be a man. Like, this is like, there's nothing wrong with just being like, I'm at home today watching sports. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to do because I'm a man. I don't want to. Yeah, like, you can't just put stuff in front of me and I'm just supposed to accept that. Like, yeah. I didn't like how I watched the Jamie Foxx movie. It's called The Day Shift, and he's killing vampires. I was like, oh, Jamie Foxx, this is my guy. He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yep.
So he goes into the house. This movie's been out for over a month, so I'm just going to spoil the first scene. He goes in and kills 2 vampires. One's a female vampire and one's a male vampire. And I think when he kills the male vampire, he ends up throwing up all on his clothes or whatever. The fake blood or whatever. So yeah. Jamie Foxx has to go into the closet and pick some clothes out. Why does he have to wear a nightgown? There was a male vampire. You couldn't put on some slack. Why would you? And then I was like, come on, man. Like, why would, like? And I pay attention to stuff like that. Like, me and my father would pay attention to stuff like this in the 90s. Like, why would? And he's only for like maybe 5-10 seconds, but why would you put on a damn nightgown like that? I just thought that was weird, man. Yeah. He could easily be like, nah, I don't. Why we gotta do a nightgown? Can I just put on some maybe he got some shorts in there or something like that? Like, why I gotta wear that for? Like, I thought that was corny. And then we fast forward from that to I watched the what's that movie called with Regina King and what's my man name?
Sterling K. Brown.
So they didn't let the people know what the plot was. It's on Peacock. So I'm watching the movie, and some type of scandal happens. So I'm thinking, all right, well, even though in my mind I kind of know what it is, I'm thinking, oh, he must have had a baby or something like that outside, you know what I mean? Because he's a pastor or something like that. But as the story goes on, he's a Batiman. I was like, where are we going? So he's trying to hit on some other man or something like that that's doing a documentary. So basically, he has a gay scandal, and I think what happened was one of the people that was in his congregation who was of age, of 18, 19, 20 years old, he was doing something, I don't know, something sexual, but like it didn't make no sense because they were all of age. So I was like, this movie, y'all just blew the whole movie. Like, I know you can't do him being with young men because that's just going a little too far, but it's like, why did you just have to make him gay? Like, I thought that was weird. Like, it was, I thought that movie was, it had potential to be good, but it just went left, and I had to turn off because I thought it was whack, man. Like, yeah. What is the point in doing this, man? Like, you just trying to just run the black man down, and then this for the cherry on top. So I'm watching Issa Rae's new show. on HBO Max. It's called Rap, whatever it's called. The two girls are trying to start a rap group. It's basically the City Girls story. So in the very last episode, and I'm actually enjoying it. The very last episode, I think one of the girls, she meets a guy at the bar. He said, "Yo, come on, I'm trying to take you out." She's all right. Well, follow me. So he follows her. They go to a diner and everything's cool. So she come to find out that she had met him 2 episodes before, and he was an up and coming rapper. So she like, oh, okay. And I think he was in like a Bentley truck, something like that. So she could tell he was getting money. Yeah. So they go outside, they exchange numbers and stuff like that. He said, "Yo, I'm trying to take you out tomorrow." She's like, "Nah, I can't really do that. I'm busy. I gotta do a rehearsal, something like that." She like, "Yeah, I mean." So then I forget what she said. He said, "Hold on 1 second." He goes into his trunk, pulls out a bag, and gives her 50 racks. I was like,
in a duffel bag,
in a duffel bag, and gave her 50 racks. I was like, so a black man just a simp right now. He's just
giving it up smooth.
Just giving it up
no
real
pistol,
smooth.
no gun, no knife. Just get that bread up.
Gave her the money. So basically just objectifying her to a damn near prostitute or something. I didn't like that scene. You know what I mean? I like Issa Rae, but I didn't like that scene. And I'm pretty sure that goes on a lot. That guys are just giving girls money for nothing. And remember, I think they talked. She was up and coming rapper. He was up and coming rapper. So he could easily been like, "Yo, man, next week you could take me out." You know what I mean? Since you getting money like that, you know what I mean? But they just had him give her like 50 racks, and I was like, this is horrible, man. Like it's just horrible because she's gonna look at him as a sucker, as a Vic. As a Vic, you know what I mean? If he's just giving it up like that, you know what I mean? And I just thought that was crazy, man. Like I don't like the representation of black men. I'd never watched any of those Tyler Perry movies in a dress. I know it's like the black people thing to watch that. I've never seen not one movie where I never watched any. I watched movies where he just being him regular self. But I've never watched those Madea movies. I'm just not into that. I never liked when Martin dressed up as Sinead. I always thought that was corny.
Jamie Foxx did Wanda back on it.
I didn't like that back in the day. And I think didn't Adam Sandler dress up as a woman? Like I just never thought that was funny. You know what I mean? Now Martin, the grandma, I thought that was funny.
Big Mama's House?
No, not Big Mama. When he was his mother. When Martin was his mom. What's her name?
Martin was whose mom?
He was his mom. Remember he played Mrs. Payne. Yeah. I thought that was somewhat funny, but just I don't know, just the dress. I think that's just going. Nothing wrong with just saying no. I'm cool. I don't got to do all that. You know what I mean? Let's leave that to the ladies. You know what I mean? Ladies can dress up like women. Yeah, we're men. You know what I mean? We straight. We don't. You know what I mean? We can just do what we got to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? We can be in the locker room and talk our stuff. You know what I mean? And don't nobody have to be no outside ears hearing how we. That's just how we talk. We're not being malicious. That's just how we run. When we talk in the gym or we talk in the barbershop or when we with our homies and we watching the game, that's just how men talk. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't like the what they're portraying as like black men. Now they do have good representation of black men. I thought Anthony Anderson did a pretty good job in the Blackish, but every once in a while he'd be crying. I think in the last couple episodes he was crying. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but a lot of this I don't think that's real. Like I know a lot of good black men. When I was growing up, like the deacons in my church, these were like men. You know what I mean? They would tell me, even though I had a father, it was in my life the whole time. I just remember just men being around my community and they were just strong. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They were married. They took care of their kids. They had their cars. They would go on vacation during the weekend. I don't like what's going on right now where they're just trying to portray the black man as just like either a coward or a man that don't take care of his kids or just weak or just always just bowing down to a woman. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up like that at all. Not me. So that's why it's kind of foreign to me when I see stuff like that. It's just weird to me because I would never do no stuff like that. Like, please, man. So that's just what I just saw in the entertainment. Maybe I'm on a sounding board. I don't know, but I just don't like the representation of how they doing black men in these movies. They make them look like clowns. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
That's just me.
I don't think that there are enough portrayals of black men in that strong men type of light. Yeah. And it's kind of like the perfect storm for that not to be the case right now with, the Me Too movement just being, 4 or 5 years ago where they was going hard on that. and them kind of trying to attack masculinity, the idea of toxic masculinity, and
but y'all like going over the
like
line.
that.
Like if a man is like taking you to some room, that's when the one girl and he was making her do all types of stuff to get an audition. Now that's drawing. You know what I mean? Like what are you doing?
That's different.
That's doing too much. But like if I'm just being a man, I'm just saying, I'm not with that. That don't make you no kind of way. It just makes you being just a man. I'm just talking man stuff right now. I'm not talking about anything else but man stuff. That's all I know. That's how I was raised. So I don't know like what's going on right now. Like I remember, I'm not gonna say what this girl wanted me to do, but I was like, no, I'm not with that. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, everybody. I don't know what the hell. I don't care what other men do. I don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm just not doing it. I'm not putting myself out there like some clown. You know what I mean? If you want a picture from another sucker, let him take. I don't do stuff like that. What the hell is wrong with you?
Who raised you?
Yeah, man. Like what? Like what? What I look like? Some type of simp? You out of your damn mind? You know what it is. When you ready, you I'll let you know. But I'm not broadcasting my stuff on the phone. Hey, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Everyone else do it. I'm like, girl, you don't get your ass out of here, please.
All right. Well, that'll be this week's edition of the Common Sense Space. So now we'll move into our second top 5. Which we've been pushing this back for weeks. We've been pushing it back so long that things that we were going to put on the list are no longer eligible to be on the list. But we're going to be listing off our top 5 songs or albums that are not streaming. And when we say aren't streaming, we mean on the major platforms like Spotify, Apple, and Tidal. But before we get into it, last week we were listing our top 5 Jay-Z features. And I mentioned Welcome to New York City, the Cameron joint. But forgot to send a salute to my homie, Rel, because the first time I heard that song was with him on a ride to Montgomeryville Mall back in the day for all our local listeners. But that's how you know it's a joint, because that memory just kind of stayed with me all these years. So salute to him, and that was a solid fire song by Cameron and Jay-Z. So we're going to get into our top 5 songs or albums that aren't streaming currently. So at number 5 on my list, I have a joint that came out back when I was in college, and it just kind of takes me back to that time. It's not a joint that I listen to that frequently because, like I said, it's not streaming. In order to listen to it, I have to go on YouTube, because on YouTube you can find pretty much anything you want to listen to. But it's a Lil Wayne joint from when he was cooking, putting out mixtapes, seemed like every other month, but it was called Something You Forgot. And
mixtape?
It was a mixtape song.
It was a song on a mixtape.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it used this dope sample. I've been lonely. I've been waiting for you. I'm pretending.
That's probably why it's not on.
And it's all I can do. That probably has something to do with it.
Probably couldn't get the sample.
Exactly. You can't clear them samples. You can't put that joint on the platform.
It'll be on YouTube in a minute.
Exactly. But that joint was hard. If you remember that song, you know what I'm talking about. But he went in on that. And that's a joint that should be on there. So at number 4, I'm going to take it to a joint that we talked about not long ago. But it's a fabulous project. Actually, many projects, a couple of projects, but it's S.L.E.E.P.
Yes.
If they could put S.L.E.E.P 1, 2, and 3 on streaming platforms, that would be outstanding.
I'm going to show it to you today. It's on there.
It's on there?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not under his name. It's under his government name. Now I don't know if he put it on there.
Oh, it's under John Jackson?
Yeah. It's I found it maybe a couple weeks ago, and it's on there. Yeah. But you can technically say that because it's not under Fabulous. It's not under Fabulous's page.
Like on Spotify.
It's on Spotify. I'll bring it up. Well, while Mikey's talking, I'll show it to you right now.
Solid.
So what would it be under?
His government name, John Jackson. I'll bring it up. While Mikey's talking, I'll show it to you.
But there's 2 songs on there in particular that make me want to have those projects on streaming platforms, and that's We Get High off of the S.L.E.E.P 2, and my favorite joint, Young OG, off of S.L.E.E.P 3.
See?
Oh man,
it's on there. Those are all the names of the songs.
Yes, it is.
I think they're all combined too.
It's called The City.
Yeah. Yeah, but does it says John Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, this seems like this is it.
That's it. Yeah, so technically it's on there, but technically it's not on there.
Oh,
I don't. Somebody, you can put stuff on there yourself.
It has all of them mixed together.
Yeah, they're all mixed together. But I think it's 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
Wow.
Yeah, but you're technically right. It's technically not on tree.
Yeah, it's not titled The Soul Tape, and
Yeah.
But that's gonna be my number 4. Number 3, I'm gonna take it to somebody that I'm sure nobody's really surprised I bring up, but that's gonna be Currency.
He got a bunch. Which one are you gonna pick? Because I got some.
He got one of my top projects that he did with Alchemist that is not streaming, and that's Carlton Heist.
Carlton Heist, yes, Carlton Heist.
Black Rally Stripes, man. Come on, man.
Is that the first song?
No, that was the second song.
What's the first song?
The first song,
Yo, that beat is so hard.
I got it right here. The first song is called Cartridge.
Yo. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on.
This is how we starting this?
Yeah, because it's that skit the guy's talking and it goes doo, doo. But the second song, when the beat picks up, I was like, this joint is hard, man.
The Black Rally Stripes joint is hard. Vibrations, obviously.
The joint with Action Bronson is hard.
Inspiration, yeah. Disappearing Ink with him and Styles.
Styles paid. The joint with him and Lil Wayne with that Fat Albert. That whole joint is hard. That whole CD's hard, man.
And then one of my favorite songs is the one he ends it off with, Smoking in the Rain.
Smoking in the Rain, yeah. Yo, that whole joint was crazy. I remember when I listened, I think I listened to that for like six months in a row. I didn't listen to anything else, man.
It's
Came
like
out
that,
2016, man. Right?
Yeah. Lost a couple friends as I got richer.
My homie called me up like, yo, this joint hard. Like, because he know I mess with Current. He only mess with Current. He called me like, yo, I can't stop listening. That's how hard it was. He had other people from the outside listening to that joint. That was his best, man, with Alchemist.
Yeah, Carlton Heist,
man. And Contingency's cool, but Carlton Heist is crazy, man. What's up with all the C's? Why?
That's a good question, because he has themes with the projects he does with people. Like
maybe it's for him because he smokes so much weed. I got to name his all C's because I'll get confused.
The joints he does with Harry Fraud, they're all like harbor or like boat stuff, like Marina EP and all that. Cigarette boats,
and the what's the other one called? The Outrunners or something.
Stoned on Ocean,
Outrunners.
Stoned on Ocean 2, Outrunners, like you said. Yeah,
all types of boat stuff. Yeah. He probably does that because he might be dyslexic. You never know. That's your number 3.
That's my number 3, Carlton Heist. Number 2, I'm going to take it to the West Coast, the K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar, and it's going to be Cartoons and Cereal.
Oh, yeah.
It was originally supposed to be on Section 80, but as we were saying, there was a clearance issue, so that joint is still not on streaming platforms. It's only on YouTube. I got put onto that by this dude I met in Tampa a couple years back when I was living down there, but that's a solid joint, too. And I'll follow it up and finish it up with number 1. This has been one of my favorite songs for years because it came out back in the early 90s. It was a track that was on the soundtrack to a movie that we talked about recently, which is Above the Rim. Yeah. But it's Pain, the Tupac joint.
It was on, then it was off, and it was on, now it's off.
Now it's off, man. Only way I can listen to it is YouTube.
It was on maybe, I think when Snoop Dogg bought the Death Row, it was right back on. But you're right, it was off. It was on for about, and it is off again.
Yeah, my homie's trying to talk me into getting YouTube Platinum because apparently with that you can listen to the stuff that's on YouTube even with the app closed.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty dope, but I ain't been on it yet because I'm on YouTube TV to watch my TV, so I'm not giving YouTube all my money, man.
You'll do that, and then next week it'll be on, what's the name? Snoop will put together something, it'll be back on streaming project. So I would just wait. There's a lot of Tupac on that's not online, too.
Somebody please reach out to Snoop and ask him to put Pain on streaming platforms. Because that is one of, in my opinion, Tupac's best songs.
Yeah, that's a classic song, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, so that's going to do it for my second top 5 list, and I'll get it over to Taylor so he can list off his top 5 songs and albums that are not available streaming. And if you want, you can go into the ones that you were going to put on the list but ended up getting on streaming platforms since we've been pushing it back.
No, I deleted all that. I had to do a whole new list. I'm not going down that far. But this is an R&B song. One of my favorites back in the day when I was a young man. Y'all might have to help me. Maybe it's on, maybe it's not. Raphael Sadiq, Ask of You. That is not on streaming platforms nowhere, man.
It's on a Higher Learning soundtrack.
It's not on there. Well, it's on the Higher following soundtrack, but it's blacked out.
Or it might be actually on Tony Tone's page.
I looked everywhere for that song. It is nowhere. Like and that's one of my favorite. I love that song. Like the words, you know what I mean? Him singing at the end. It's a beautiful song. I can't find it nowhere in its entirety. I think Wale and Jeremiah, they took the beat and they did a remix or whatever or something like that. But
Tony.
Yeah,
but it's definitely blacked out.
Yes,
so I'm going to say that whoever wrote it, or that's usually a publishing
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So somebody, either whoever produced it. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, or like I know a lot of soundtracks, they're not on streaming. Some are, but some aren't. And then sometimes you have to actually put in soundtrack, and then they'll have a bunch of, but they're all clustered together. But that song is not on streaming project. I love that song by Raphael Sadiq. All I ask of you, yeah, I mean, that's even Jay-Z referred to. That's all I ask of you, like Raphael Sadiq. He said that in the song.
Ooh,
yeah. And speaking of Jay-Z, that's gonna be number 4, but it's not really Jay-Z. It's the State Property Freestyle.
Oh, you talking about the Hot 97?
Oh, the Hot 9. Now I know you see Taylor down. They have so many freestyles online. I mean, on Spotify, they got Big L old freestyle. They got old Biggie freestyles. They got old Fabulous freestyles. They do have freestyles on Spotify and on Tidal. I don't know how they brokered it or something like that. But they and of course remember they got the Jadakiss freestyle last year off the Who I Shot You.
Yo, check this out. So check this out. I'm looking at the Higher Learning soundtrack, and almost everything
song is blacked out.
Blacked out.
Except for like the Outkast and like some Rage Against the Machine, but everything else is blacked out. Yeah. Now, so I went to Raphael Sadiq's page, and so maybe it's on one of his albums or a best of or a collaboration. Nowhere. You know what I mean? I've been looking for this song for 6 years.
Oh, I mean, I have the song
you do?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
On my hard drive.
Yeah. But it's not on any streaming plots. Like you said, it might be like a publishing issue or something like that. But getting back to the Jay-Z, that was kind of like the introduction of like, to the world. Because we knew who Freeway, we knew who Siegel was, we knew who Chris was. Now, E Money Bag, he was trash. You know what I mean? He was horrible. But everyone else was spitting bars. You know what I mean? So they need to find a way to where they can cut that up. And cause remember, they must have did about 6 or 7 different beats. They did like a Mobb Deep joint. They was going in, and Jay-Z was just hyping it up. You know what I mean? So
he's only 16.
Like it was. I remember that when it came on, and then I think the next night, I think they did it on Power 99. Everybody was hyping, and I remember the CD came out, and that's all everybody was rocking in Philadelphia. Like I think that was in '99 or 2000, but everyone was just hyped about that because we felt like Philly was on the map. Now we was wrong, but we was hyped because we thought that was it. Like these went to New York and killed it. You know what I mean? Oskino was up there too.
Oskino was up there. Oskino came out and had some words for the homie Jay-Z. Said that they should have got some type of bread off of that situation.
Well, they did
because Jay-Z was up there gassing them, talking about act like Nas, and them was trying to kill your family and your mama and write bars like you trying to kill this dude and you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the four and bop. You know what I'm saying? So
but that it's classic, man. It's classic, man. Number 3. Hold on, let me look at my list because sometimes I get confused by myself by my own handwriting. All right, we'll go. Well, number 3, I'll go with Currency, but I'm not going to go with what you said. I'm gonna put some respect on Godfather 4.
Ooh, yeah. Now that is another one. That is another one.
Godfather 4.
Godfather 4 is hard.
All the way through was hard.
Start to finish.
This did a song with Be Real from Cypress Hill. And Be Real killed him, and then Currency came back in and said, "Oh no, I can't let this old get me like that." And spit that last verse on that ET joint, because usually Currency's just a one verse. He'll let you get spotted and that's it. No, not that joint. He went, and that beat was hard, yo, man. Yeah. He had a song called Money, Power, Respect. That was hard. Yep. I could take 10 G's and make 20 more and 10 more 10 G or whatever it was. That song was hard. What was it called? The white up tops or the white
high top whites.
High top white, yo.
High top whites. That shit was hard.
The joint with Action Bronson. That
was Godfather 4.
That whole CD was hard. I mean, that whole mixtape was hard. He needed some kind of way broker deal. That joint was hard.
My favorite joint on there is Vintage Vineyard.
Oh yeah,
I just realized the other day, speaking of the drive-in theater, that Stovetop is on Spotify. It's under what's my man name that did that beat? It's under Cooking Soul.
Okay, yeah, Cooking Soul. Yeah, Cooking Soul did most of the beats. I think him and Thelonious somebody else. But that was one
Thelonious Martin.
Thelonious Martin, yeah. But that whole mixtape, that joint was fire, man. That was when Currency was in his bag, and I think that came out in early 2014.
That came out, 2014. On Valentine's Day.
That joint was hard, man. That's one of my favorite Currency joints of all time.
The drive-in theater is dope. And one of the dopest parts about the drive-in theater is the cuts from movies that you push into that joint.
The Godfather up in there.
Yeah, that might be why that's not available, because they got to get all kinds of clearances for that.
Yeah, they probably would have to cut out a lot of that guy. But the songs were just dope. And he had a joint with Smoke Diz at the end. That was hard too.
He had a couple group joints at the end. Foe, and The Usual Suspects.
I forgot about Foe.
Yeah.
Yo, the whole joint was hard. I listened to it the other day. I was like, why is this not available nowhere, man? Yeah, man. Yeah,
Dollar Sign Migraine.
Yeah. Oh man,
with him and L.E.S.
Him and L.E.S. last year. Come on, man. That whole joint. You gonna make me listen to that on the way back home.
Even the introduction that first comes on when he's playing the stuff like you're going into a drive-in theater. Like, my man sets the whole scene on that.
Yo, man, that's a beautiful. But like you said, he probably got to get the clearance from the movies and stuff like that. He said, man, I'll just leave it online.
Yeah.
Number 2. Now, after Covert Coops, Alchemist did a mixtape with Domo Genius called No Idols. Yo, that joint was hard, yo. Like, I love Covert Coops, and I think he did another joint with Prodigy that year called Albert Einstein, but this was like in between or something like that, or maybe right after. No Idols is hard, though. He got a song on there called Elimination Chamber with Action Bronson and Earl Sweatsuit. Yo, and Smoke Diz on that song. Yo, that whole 10, 12 songs is hard. Because what happened was when I listened to Covert Coops, I was like, I'm back on Alchemist. He back out. And then maybe a couple months after that, this came out. This joint was hard. And I think Earl Sweatsuit's on maybe 2 songs. He got a song called Like a Star. Yo, that joint is hard. And then the very last song, he got a song with Tyler, the Creator. That whole disc is hard. I like Domo. When Domo Genius first came out, I was on him, but he kind of like disappeared. But then he came back. I don't know what it helped with his conceit. He's still rapping right now, but that was like my introduction to Domo Genius from the West Coast.
I got you.
I love that joint, man. No Idols. That joint is hard. All produced by Alchemist. I don't know. It's nowhere. You know what I mean? It's just online. That's it. You know what I mean? But number 1, I think I talked about this a couple months ago. West Side Gun and Conway. Don't Get Scared Now. 2016. They wiped that. It's online, but it's all wiped out. Probably because of clearances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he got a skit in there when Jay-Z. Remember when the woman asked Jay-Z, "When did you make your first sale?" My first transaction. I don't know. I can't tell you. Like Jay-Z's that little interviews in there and stuff like that. But he got a song called China, talking about China the wrestler. Then the next song is Visionware. That Visionware beat is hard. Then after that, then of course they got the Ajax. My shooter sniffed the coke with the and then the very last song is Conway and Prodigy.
Talked about that before.
Yo, the last song is with Conway and Prodigy called Ben's Coupe Door or something like that. That beat is hard, man. Derringer did that beat. That's when Conway did that, and I think maybe a couple months later, Prodigy passed away, so he was able to do a song with one of his idols he grew up with. That little EP, or I think it's an EP. That joint is hard, man. Yo, man, just don't get scared now. Look that up online and listen to all that and be like, man, I can't go back to listening to these on the screen. They was spitting bars on that joint. That's when they was hungry. Well, they still hungry, but that's when they was on Eminem's label. But they were just putting out just anything. You know what I mean? But it's West Side Gun, Conway, and I think Mac Homie's on the first 3 songs, and then the last 2 was just West Side Gun and Conway, and the last song is him and Prodigy.
I got
Incredible. You. Yeah. Whew. Listen to that joint. Listen to that joint. You'll be like, damn, these been doing this for about 5-6 years right now. This is crazy. Yeah, just the way they pick out the beats and the stuff they spitting, man, is crazy, man.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's my number 1, man. I think I found that maybe 2 years ago. I heard the one song on satellite radio, and I couldn't find it, and then I ended up finding the whole album. I said, "Yo, this joint is crazy," and I just ended up listening to it again earlier this year. So yeah, don't get scared now by West Side Gun and Conway is fire. I don't care no one says fire.
All right, bet.
Yeah. I think I wiped off everything else.
I have an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about this whole joint, but it's more Saturday Night Cartoons. It's another currency joint
Which one is that?
that has champagne rain on it.
Is that the one with
the one with Money Shot with Mac Miller?
Mac Miller? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not on yet. The other one's online, but just I think the regular card.
Yeah, the Saturday night cartoons.
But the second one, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that one was hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then that was the one when he had the beat and he was just talking.
Yeah.
But the beat was hard. I was like, yo, he
Yeah.
we gonna use this beat another time.
Yeah, the intro.
That intro beat was hard, yo. And
Y'all
then
know we doing this like
Yeah.
every weekend right now, but you know
Yeah.
we're gonna use this beat another time. It was a Cardo beat.
yeah, that was. I remember that was like 4 or 5 songs. That was
It's,
hard.
it's like 7 tracks on that joint.
17.
And the only joint I don't like is the joint he got with Wiz called
John,
Counting Money.
Yeah, John Wiz Khalifa, that was trash.
But every other track on that tape is hard.
Yeah, I had it downloaded on my phone, and I think some kind of way the app I had disappeared, and all the songs disappeared too. So somebody probably bought it, and they just try to make you pay for everything. I'm not paying for nothing.
Exactly.
I'll just go to YouTube for free.
If I don't have to pay for it, I'm not gonna.
I'm not going
Stop
to pay
playing
for
with
nothing.
me.
No, I got to pay for enough out here. You want me to pay for the music
Exactly.
right now?
Like what?
F you. I'm
take-
not doing that stuff. Get out of here.
Take that up the block, man. So that's gonna do it for our second edition of Top 5.
This my-
Do you have an honorable mention?
My last one. I mentioned this before.
What you got?
R. Kelly, Your Body's Called an Extended Remix. I'm sorry. Featuring, I talked about this 2 weeks. It's not.
Yo.
It's not anywhere. They got the regular remix online, but not the extended remix with A.L.E.E on there. So
Okay.
but we know why that's not.
Oh
online.
no, this is a version of oh.
Yeah, Leah was 15. She was a
Oh,
baby.
my God.
And, R. Kelly being reckless, but
Now,
y'all
that's
allowed this to
ridiculous.
happen. I blame y'all. I don't blame R. I blame y'all. Y'all
Yeah.
let this happen.
Yeah,
Y'all knew she was a baby.
I tell you what, it ain't my fault.
Yeah, I was a baby
I
at the
wasn't
time.
there.
Yeah, I was a baby at the time. So I didn't know what was going on.
I didn't co-sign this. I ain't giving the green light.
I thought she was a grown woman. I tell this 12, 11 years. I don't know. Y'all putting people on TV. I'm assuming that they grown.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me.
Man. Yeah, man. All right. Well, that's going to be it for our second Top 5. So we're going to finish up this week's episode with T's thoughts. Taylor, what you got to say to the people?
It was funny because E said something last week, and then I ran into somebody that's younger than me, and he was talking about how he was going to buy himself something to make women like him, and I knew damn well he couldn't afford it. So I'm going to tell the young players out here, please, do not lie to women. I'm telling you right now. Now I'm going back to man stuff. Do not lie to women, please. There's nothing wrong with being authentic and being yourself. If you're a square, the women will respect you more if you just come to them as your true self.
Yep.
But if you're trying to impress them and trying to make them feel, or trying to basically buy their love or something like that, or buy their affection or whatever, you're going to crash and burn. And she has the right to make your life a living hell.
Yeah.
Do not lie to females. Now see how Taylor is. I can say one thing and be a man, but I can defend women and say, do not lie to females. Do not lie and say, I'm going to be there to take care of your baby. Don't say stuff like that. You're better off being actually the truth. They're going to be mad for 15, 20 minutes, but you don't want a chick being mad at you for 20, 30 years because you lied to her. Do not lie to female.
Hey,
be your authentic self. Be a man.
Hey, T.
If she can't like you for you, she not going to like you at all.
Exactly. Don't lie.
Yo, here goes something real about being authentic. I got more cheeks driving my Geostorm than I got with any other new car after that I bought.
Yep.
And I done had Escalades, Nissans, all kinds of new stuff. But when I had that Geostorm with the tent,
Yep.
5-speed, and I rolled up on the chick like I was a celebrity, like, yo, they was with it. It's crazy. New cars, you attract those gold diggers, but like, yo, for real, I got more chinks in that damn Geostorm than any. It's crazy. And that was just me being me.
I was being me. I was so I had got my license suspended maybe 10, 12, maybe 15 years ago. So now on the bus and the train, and all types of chicks was coming at me, and I was keeping it real. I said, baby girl, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on this train. I mean, yeah, you got a license? Yeah, I got a license. I messed up. I messed some things up. You know what I mean? But I was keeping it real. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm on the bus. You know what I mean? Like, me and you can ride the bus together. What time you get on the bus? At 3:00? I might be there around 3:30. We can sit together. I kept it real. Like, you have to keep it. Do not lie to these females. I'm telling you, man. If you got some financial troubles or something, listen, baby girl. I mean, I ain't working overtime this weekend. It's gonna be a little light. You know know what I mean? Your hair gonna be looking kind of crazy. You know what I mean? So if you just want to, throw the scarf on, baby, I'm gonna love you. Just keep it real with these females, man. Do not lie to these females. I'm telling you, man. Don't lie. So when I saw that young man do that, and I think he said something on the show last, I was re-listening to the show. I was like, yo, why are y'all lying to these females, man? Don't lie to them, man. I don't care if she's black, white, Asian, persuasion, purple. Don't lie to no female, man. I'm telling you, man.
Be surprised how far you can get. Just tell them exactly
what
you
want.
Just keep it G. Tell them the truth.
Tell them the
keep
truth.
It 100.
Yeah, baby. This is fake Louis Vuitton. It ain't real. I mean, just tell them the truth.
They might be upset at first, but they'll respect you more.
She might tell you, oh, this bag is fake. Y'all might spark up a conversation.
This LV bag is fake too, baby.
And then y'all be laughing about it, baby. Remember that first time I met you when you had that fake stuff on? Yeah, man. Now we rock. Now we got the real. Just be authentic with these females. I'm telling you, do not lie to these chicks, man. I'm telling you, man. Don't lie to them because they have a right. Because if you lie to them, they have a right. Like I said, they have a right to make your life a living freaking hell. I'm telling you, man. They have a right to. Don't lie to them. And so if Uncle Taylor told you anything, I'm telling you the truth. Don't lie to these females. Tell the truth. What my man? What movie was that? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Don't lie. Tell these girls the truth, man. They'll respect you more. They will hate you if you lie to them.
Taylor dropping gems on them this week.
A girl got mad at me. This is like maybe almost 20 years ago. I think I told her I was going to give her $50 or something like that, and I didn't do it. I did all types of great stuff, but she never got over the fact that I did not give her $50. And then years later, another thing, now I was younger at the time. Now, years later, something else happened to where a girl asked me for like $50. She's going to pay it back. I told baby, I ain't got it. You know what I mean? And then what you think I did? Maybe I ended up giving her the money for something else that she needed. And then all she talked about, oh my God, I can't believe that one time you get, that's all she talked about. You know what I mean?
One time you took out, you looked out.
Yeah, I looked out. And like I said, she paid me back. She's like, I really need that money. I had to pay this. You know what I mean? I'm so happy and she paid me back for other things. You know what I mean? But do not lie. I'm telling you, don't lie to females. Don't lie. Tell the truth. Tell baby girl, I ain't got it.
As the A$AP Rocky song was once entitled, keep it G.
Yeah. Just tell the truth, man. I'm telling you, your conscience will be so clear. You know what I mean? I know right now that they in lies right now. They can't remember their own lies.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I did tell her that. Oh damn, I gotta. Don't keep up with no lie. Just tell the truth, man. Just tell the truth, man. I'm telling you, man. You'll be a happier man. You won't have. When you see a man that's like in his late 30s, early 40s with gray in it, he's a liar. He's probably been lying his whole life.
Stressed out.
But if you see a man that's got the black in it, you don't know how old he is. You know what I mean? That nigga probably tells the truth. He probably tells the truth so much that girl just I ain't messing with him no more.
People don't even like him. He keeps it too honest.
That nigga's too honest. You know what I mean? So just tell the truth. That's all. That's the only game stuff I got today on some man stuff. Just always be honest to females.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for season 5, episode 2. Thank you to everybody for listening, tuning in, checking us out. We appreciate you all.
Yes, we do.
Please, if you listen to the episode, feel free to like episodes. Feel free to like posts. Feel free to leave comments. Do whatever it is you want to do to let us know that you appreciate what we're doing. And if it's something you want us to do more, something you want us to do less, let us know. I ain't saying we're going to do it, but we'll take it into consideration. Maybe. You can look us up and follow us on Twitter and IG at Sleep is for You. That's SLEEPIS, the number 4YOU. Look out for episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Podbean, Samsung Podcast Player FM, or YouTube. We are everywhere you are with the podcast. Look up sleepisforyou.com if you have not already done so to familiarize yourself with Taylor and myself. Taylor, anything else you want to say to the people?
Peace out, man. Enjoy the rest of the season. It's going down.
Anything else you want to say to the people?
It's football time, baby. And be safe out there. It's crazy out there in them streets. So keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah, man. Definitely today and tomorrow. We're going to try to get this episode up tomorrow. But it's going to be raining in the greater tri-state area over the next couple of days. So be safe because they
don't know what you're talking about.
People do not know how to drive when there's stuff falling from the sky, rain, snow, whatever. So watch your body, be safe, look both ways for you cross the street. Water.
Yeah. We back. Yeah. return to that emo rap. Ain't no kilo stash, Augusta's son had to reload that. Daddy gone, but his legacy strong, how do you figure? I too thought I'd be dead, all things considered, but I'm living, thriving and growing, fighting opponents that I'm with it. Striving to know who died for the lowest, don't you get it? The industry hope is trying to control us, I ain't with it. I got me a goal that's highly explosive with my wife and my baby. What I'm writing is weighty, call me S.O. or Bebenberg. They knighting me lately, stand where the light is, feeling like it, delighted, and maybe I'm getting grown. Nothing wrong with Bible and Baileys. I open up the text, got my mind closer off the edge. Goes the architect. I ain't gotta go to your connect. I gotta go direct. Him and I through the sun up.